Hey Audio Engineering, it's Mr. Goldschmidt, and today we're going to talk about more chord progressions and then our first big project, which is composing a ringtone. So far we know 3 chords. We know our 1 chord, we know our 4 chord, we know our 5 chord. And today we're going to learn the 6 chord, which is actually a minor 6 chord, and with those 4 chords we can create several really popular chord progressions. So up here in this green image, I have our 1 chord, which is C, E, and G on the keyboard. I have our 5 chord, and I have our 4 chord, and I also have right here our A minor 6 chord. So with that 6 chord, which is played with A, C, and E, A, C, E on our keyboard, we can create that minor 6 chord. I also have a couple others here, the minor 2 chord and the minor 3 chord, but we're not going to mess with those necessarily today. We're using the 1, 5, 4, and 6 chords, we can create some really popular chord progressions. You'll notice that I wrote them out here. I have a 1 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, then the 4 chord. And that chord progression sounds like this. We have 1 chord, up to a 5 chord, up to a 6 chord, to the 4 chord. And then it repeats. 1 chord, up to 5 chord, up to 6 chord, to 4 chord, and then back to a 1 chord. It repeats. Now, what we can do here is we can now start with the 5 chord, go to the 6 chord, then the 4 chord, then the 1 chord. So we start 5, then to 6, then to 4 chord, then to 1 chord. Then we can change the order again and start with the 6 chord, then to the 4 chord, then to the 1 chord, then to the 5 chord, and then the last one is starting with the 4 chord, and so we've got 4 chord, to the 1 chord, to the 5 chord, then to 6 chord. So you'll notice each time we play this progression, the chords follow the same order. The 1 chord's always followed by the 5 chord, the 5 chord's always followed by the 6, and the 6 chord is always followed by the 4 chord. Though you can't change the order in this progression, in these sequences. We don't want to change the order. Those are what we've decided on already. So don't change the order, but these are some really popular ones. In particular, that very first one, if you remember the 4 chord song, played by Axis of Awesome, that is the chord progression that they used, and it's used by so many different pop songs out there. 1, 5, 6, and 4. Now, if you're interested in more chord progressions, this autochords.com is an awesome website, and this is autochords.com, and what you can do is you can decide on the instrument that you want to use. In this case, we're going to use piano. Then you can decide on the feel. What kind of feel do you want? Maybe you want a grungy feel, and we're going to play it in the key of C. That would be easiest. You can make it major or minor. And it gives you a chord progression. You can listen to what that chord progression sounds like. And then you can also hover over the chord, and it says C chord, and the notes in the C are C, E, and G. Then you hover over the F, and it tells you F, A, C, and it tells you what notes you need to play for this chord. It also gives you alternatives. So if there's different ones that you want to try, you can hit play and listen to what they sound like and maybe use those chords.